What's going on, MJ fam? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. It is Saturday, January 13th. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. And in this video, got another exciting update. Seems like the exciting updates continue to roll in and bullish articles, which we'll take. New York regulators greenlight 2 more multi-state operators. We're going to discuss all of that and more and how big this market is going to be. I think New York's going to be absolutely massive in the grand scheme of things. But before we get to the details, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future live streams or when I post new content. Also, this is not financial advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Never, ever, ever buy anything based on anything that I write or anything that I say. Also, you can give Pow Group a follow over on X, which is formerly Twitter, and the handle for that one is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. So as reported by the Green Market Report, New York regulators greenlight 2 more multi-state operators or MSOs, and then there were 8 after a lightning quick meeting on Friday afternoon of the New York MJ Control Board, which lasted less than 5 minutes. Its 3 present members voted unanimously to approve the transition of 2 more MJ multi-state operators to the recreational market from the medical, bringing the total number of MSOs transitioning to 8. Fiorello Pharmaceuticals Inc., which is owned by Green Thumb Industries, and Sativa Medical LLC, which is owned by Ianthus Capital Holdings, were both granted permission to begin recreational MJ operations immediately. Your approval will allow them to begin cultivating and processing on the adult use side, as well as opening dispensaries, said Chris Alexander, the executive director of the OCM, told the board during its brief gathering before it voted and adjourned. Also, we know that Ohio recently came online. We have Pennsylvania, we have Florida potentially on the ballot for 2024, which I think is very likely to pass and then to actually become law. It's looking really, really good. But personally, in my opinion, I think New York and Florida are going to be the biggest markets in the U.S. And it just happens to be, there's a lot of tourism. There's a lot of business being done in these areas. And I think they're just on the rise. If you take a look at, California, a lot of people are kind of migrating out of California, and they've been having a lot of issues with regards to, housing and things like that. But I think Florida, I would argue Florida's probably going to be the biggest, and then potentially New York right after that one. But they're very slow starting here, so they're taking the crawl, walk, run approach. But as they said, there's 8 that are transitioning, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. I think New York is going to be a massive, massive market. But couple this with Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, these MSOs are going to see massive, massive upside in the long term, and then interstate commerce once that's available, and then what else? If we take a look at 280E going away through rescheduling, right? All this extra revenue that would be going toward their bottom line instead of paying it in taxes under 280E alone. You got names like Curaleaf that have paid over $350 million to the U.S. government in 280E taxes alone, right? And that goes the same is for Green Thumb and Trulieve and all these other big MSOs as well. Fiorello has medical dispensaries doing business as FP Wellness or Rise in Manhattan, Long Beach, Rochester, and Half Moon, according to the State Office of MJ Management website. Sativa has medical dispensaries doing business as B in Brooklyn, Wappingers Falls, and Staten Island, and Ithaca. A spokesperson for GTI said in the statement to the Green Market Report on Friday that it would commence adult use sales as its Rochester shop later today. That would bring the total number of operational recreational MJ shops in New York to at least 47. And we know there's a ton of unregulated and unlicensed shops as well. So I think there's going to be a massive crackdown, and there's even bills that are going through right now to try to curb that. But hearing a ton of people saying that they walk into a dispensary or they walk into a retail location in this market in New York, and you can't even tell, like, they're selling legitimate products, but you can't even tell that it's an unregulated or unlicensed retailer. So that's pretty crazy when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, but I think they're going to crack down on that big time. Also, in a separate press release, the OCM announced Friday afternoon that the number of operational recreational dispensaries has risen to 49, not including GTI's Rochester location. Also, aside from GTI's one retail edition, it's not clear which other medical dispensaries run by the MSOs will be switched into dual recreational medical shops. The companies can choose up to 3 each. The CCB meeting on Friday, at an abnormally short one, followed a somewhat surprise outcome at a last-minute meeting held December 29th when the board split on a 2-2 vote regarding the same exact question or permission of GTI and Ianthus. That vote delayed the adult use market entry of GTI and Ianthus until now. A GTI spokesperson celebrated the vote on Friday in an email to the Green Market Report, calling it historic. And we saw some decent upside on GTI stock as well. It's been very strong comparatively to the rest of the sector as well. But as we know, GTI's, it's profitable. It's a huge company, a huge MJ company in terms of revenue. And in my opinion, it's probably going to be in the top 10, maybe even top 5 companies globally long term. But just keep in mind that, GTI, again, not financial advice, I just don't see it as big of an opportunity as some of the other names out there, right? I always say it's one of the more safer bets. So, if you're somebody who doesn't like to take on as much risk, GTI may be the pick for you, right? And I do own a very, very small position of it in my portfolio, full disclosure. I've done a top 5 MJ holdings video, and then I've done my entire MJ portfolio holdings video with percentage breakdown. That was in 2023, so I'm going to look to update that. But at this point, I have it indirectly through my MSOS ETF as well. But at this point, even if it goes back to all-time highs, it's not offering that much upside. We're talking about 1 to 2x essentially from where we are at this point. So we will be transitioning our Rise dispensary in Henrietta to serve adult use customers in addition to our medical patients later today, making us one of the only 2 licensed adult use dispensaries in the Rochester area, the spokesperson wrote. We are excited to celebrate this milestone with the community with a grand opening event and other activities in the coming weeks and bring more well-being to the people of Empire State. Spokespeople for Ianthus and Sativa did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Friday. But GTI and Ianthus now join the other 6 MSOs that have gotten permission to transition into the recreational MJ market in New York, and that includes Columbia Care, or the new name, the Cannabis Co. We also have Curaleaf. We also have RIV Capital, Cresco Labs, Acreage Holdings, and privately held PharmaCann. Combined, the 8 could eventually operate as many as 24 recreational MJ shops statewide, although the first 6 MSOs were all allowed to begin retail operations on December 29th. As of last week, only PharmaCann had done so. Some of the MSOs indicated their intent to launch wholesale sales immediately, but were hedging on when they would begin direct adult use retail sales to consumers, given that to do so requires a $5 million license fee to the OCM. Wow. 2 other MSOs that hold medical MJ license in New York, MedMen and Vireo Health International, which does business as Goodness Growth Holdings, are also eligible for recreational MJ business permits, but it's not clear if either has yet applied for adult use transition. So again, this is great to see. We're seeing this trend continue, and it's just game theory playing out. The more states that start to follow suit, the more we're going to see the pressure at the federal level. But going to end it there, it's Rod with Power Group. Let me know what you think of this news in the comment section below. Going to end it there. Hope you have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. You can hear my dog barking in the background, trying to be an ambulance. It's an ambulance going by. That's hilarious. Funny way to end off the video. But enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll see you again on the next video.